Let's dive into this Instagram growth stuff for 2025.
Yeah.
We got a ton of requests to break down this YouTube video by Alex, the growth guru, and see what's really working on Instagram these days.
Yeah, Alex always has some interesting insights. And honestly, I think even if you're not like running a theme page or anything, there's some seriously smart tactics in this video that anyone can use.
Absolutely. Even just for like personal accounts or whatever, it's all about understanding how the algorithm thinks, right?
Yeah, totally. It's not even just about posting pretty pictures anymore. You got to kind of understand the nuances of how to signal to the algorithm what your content is all about.
That's what Alex calls training your account, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like, how does that actually work in practice?
Well, it's all about consistency.
Yeah.
And really engaging with content in your niche.
So just liking and commenting on stuff that's relevant to what you post about.
Yeah, but it's more than just like random liking. Think of it as like curating your own little corner of Instagram. The algorithm picks up on the patterns of what you're interacting with, and it starts to understand like, okay, this person is really into like vintage sci-fi book covers or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's going to start showing you more content that fits that vibe.
So your Explore page basically becomes like a curated feed of inspiration and content ideas, all tailored to your specific interests.
Right, and that feeds into Alex's next big tip, trending audios.
Which is?
Find the audio first and then create the video around it.
That's interesting. Most people do it the other way around, right?
Exactly. But Alex says this is the key to getting more reach.
I guess because the algorithm is always prioritizing what's trending.
Yeah, that's part of it. But I also think it taps into our desire to be part of something bigger. Like when you see a video using a trending audio, there's a sense of familiarity there, a shared experience.
Yeah, I get that.
It almost creates a mini community around that soundbite.
So you're more likely to watch it and engage with it.
Exactly.
Plus, if you're editing directly to that trending audio in your software, like Alex recommends, you're probably going to be more in sync with the rhythm of the trend, which could lead to a more engaging video overall.
Right, and speaking of engagement, we can't ignore the newest feature on the block, polls and captions.
Oh yeah, I saw Alex was talking about that. He showed an example where this creator got like 43,000 responses to a poll in their caption.
That's insane.
It's crazy. I haven't really played around with that feature much yet, but it seems like such a good way to like encourage interaction beyond just likes and comments.
Totally. Just keeps people on your post longer, which the algorithm loves.
For sure. And then of course there's captions in general. Alex had a whole formula for rating effective captions too.
It does. And it's not just about like slapping on a few emojis.
Yeah.
A well-crafted caption can actually make or break your post performance.
Oh, totally. I've definitely noticed that longer captions seem to be doing better these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The longer someone spends reading your caption, the more the algorithm sees it as like valuable content. And Alex breaks it down into 3 key elements: a hook to grab attention, valuable content that provides real information or entertainment, and a call to action that encourages engagement.
It's like you're treating your caption as a mini blog post almost.
Kind of, yeah. And if you're like feeling stuck,
Yeah.
he even suggests using AI tools like ChatGPT or Quillbot to like polish your writing.
Oh, those are actually pretty helpful.
Yeah, they can be surprisingly good.
So, okay, we've covered training your account, leveraging trending audios, maximizing engagement with polls and captions. What else did Alex get into?
So he also talked about the use of effects, but not the way you might think.
Oh no, he's not talking about going filter crazy, is he? Because I'm pretty sure that's been out of style since like 2020.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Much more subtle than that. It's about like using Instagram's built-in features to your advantage.
Yeah.
So he gave the example of like applying a 4K filter, which is like almost undetectable to the viewer, but it signals to the algorithm that you're using the platform's tools effectively.
Interesting.
It's like a little wink to the algorithm, showing it that you're in the know.
I like that, a little wink.
Yeah, so it's a way to subtly enhance your content and potentially boost visibility.
Okay, so subtle tweaks can actually make a difference. Now, I know Alex had some strong opinions about Facebook recommendations, and I have to admit, this is one I'm still wrapping my head around.
Yeah, he's pretty adamant about this. Turn them off.
Really? But why would you want to like turn off potential views? Isn't any exposure good exposure?
Not necessarily. While those cross-platform views from Facebook might bump up your numbers, they're not coming from people who have actually chosen to follow your content on Instagram.
So it's about quality over quantity. You want engaged followers who are genuinely interested in what you're putting out there, not just random viewers from another platform.
Exactly. You want to cultivate a community of followers who are invested in your journey,
Right.
not just passively consuming your content.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see the strategy behind that. So we've tackled effects, we've ditched Facebook recommendations. What about hashtags? Are those still a thing in the ever-changing world of Instagram?
They are, but their function has definitely shifted. In 2025, it's less about discoverability and more about helping the algorithm understand like the core themes of your content.
So instead of using a bunch of generic hashtags, hoping to get discovered, you're using them strategically to provide context to the algorithm.
Exactly, think of them as keywords,
Yeah.
short and sweet. Telling the algorithm, this is what my content is about, show it to people interested in these specific things.
So instead of like hashtag I went on a boat trip, it's more like hashtag travel, hashtag adventure, hashtag ocean life.
Perfect. You're giving the algorithm the information it needs to connect you with the right audience. Now, speaking of connecting with your audience, Alex had some really smart tactics about pinned content that I think you'll find interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's hear about these pinned content strategies. Okay, so tell me about this pinned content strategy. Like, how does that actually work?
Well, it's all about like capitalizing on content that's already performing well. So you have that post that's just like blowing up, getting tons of likes and comments.
Yeah.
What you do is you pin a comment to the top of that post with a clear call to action.
Like what?
Something simple like follow us for more or check out our website.
Oh, so you're basically like leveraging that viral moment to try and gain more followers.
Exactly. You're putting that call to action right in front of people who are already engaged with your content.
That's smart.
And Alex even suggests waiting until the post starts to like decline in popularity before you pin it to your profile.
So you're kind of like giving it a second life.
Exactly. You're extending the reach of that high-performing content.
That's a really good tip. Now, when it comes to like presenting yourself to a new audience, obviously your Instagram bio is super important. And Alex had a whole formula for that too, right?
He did, and it's all about like making a strong first impression. Your bio is like your elevator pitch.
Yeah.
You got to make it count.
So what's the formula?
Okay, so first off, keywords in your name. This helps people find you when they're searching for specific topics.
Right.
Then a clear and concise description of what your account is all about. What kind of content do you post? What value do you provide to your followers?
It's like SEO for your Instagram profile.
Yeah, totally. And then, of course, a strong call to action.
Like, follow me.
Yeah, but try to be a little more creative than that. Something like join the community or get exclusive tips. You want to give people a reason to hit that follow button.
I like that. It's more engaging. So to recap, keywords, clear description, value proposition, and a strong call to action. Going through all this stuff with Alex's video, it's making me realize that like Instagram is so much more than just posting pretty pictures. You got to think like a marketer.
Totally. You got to understand the platform, the algorithm, and how to use it to your advantage.
But at the same time, it's not about like manipulating the system or anything.
Right. It's about being authentic and creating content that genuinely provides value to your audience.
Yeah, you want to build a real community, not just a bunch of like fake followers or whatever.
Exactly.
So, thinking about our own Instagram strategy, I'm wondering if there are any areas where we could be doing better.
Well, I think we're doing a pretty good job with the content itself. But maybe we could be more strategic with our pinned content.
Yeah, that's a good point. We could definitely leverage that tactic more to try and grow our following, and maybe experiment a bit more with those subtle effects that Alex mentioned, like that 4K filter thing.
Yeah, that's worth a shot.
It wouldn't hurt to give the algorithm a few extra winks. This whole conversation has me thinking about like how we consume information these days. There's just so much content out there. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, totally. Information overload is a real thing.
And that's why I think it's so important to be intentional about what you consume and how you consume it.
Absolutely.
Like this deep dive, for example. We took one YouTube video, extracted the key insights, and now we have a much deeper understanding of a complex topic.
It's like a shortcut to knowledge.
Exactly.
But it's not just about passively consuming information. It's about actively engaging with it, asking questions, and figuring out how it applies to your own life.
Totally. So out of all the stuff that Alex talked about, what was like the one thing that really resonated with you? Something you're excited to try out?
That's a good question. I think for me, it was the reminder that Instagram is constantly evolving. What works today might not work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you gotta stay curious, keep experimenting, and never stop learning.
That's so true.
It's all about being adaptable.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Alex's insights,
I want to leave you, our listener, with one final thought.
I feel like we just got handed like a whole new toolbox for Instagram, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But tools are only as good as the person using them.
That's true. I think what Alex has really given us is a new framework for thinking about Instagram,
Yeah.
like a more strategic and holistic way to approach growth.
It's not just about like posting randomly and hoping for the best anymore.
Right. It's about understanding the game and playing it smart.
We covered so much ground today, from niche mastery and trending audios to polls and captions that actually convert, even those subtle effects that give the algorithm a little wink.
It's a lot to take in.
But the exciting thing is this is just the starting point, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's always more to explore, more to learn,
Especially as the platform keeps changing.
constantly evolving.
You know what I really love about this deep dive is it's not just a random list of tips or hacks.
Yeah.
It's like we actually got a deeper understanding of the why behind these strategies.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so valuable.
It's not just about like manipulating the algorithm or tricking people into following you.
Right.
It's about creating content that genuinely connects with people. And then using these strategies to amplify that connection.
Building a real community.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a challenge.
Okay.
Think about all the strategies we talked about today and pick one thing you're going to do differently on Instagram after listening to this.
Just one thing.
Yeah, something that really resonated with you,
Something that sparked an idea.
something that made you think, I could totally do that.
And then go out there and actually do it.
Test it out, see how it works.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Because at the end of the day, the key to success on Instagram, or really on any platform, is to stay curious, keep experimenting, and never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So go out there, put these strategies into action, and watch your Instagram presence flourish. Until next time, happy Instagramming.